Hello and welcome. This time Daniel explores went to Zlataritsa. Zlataritsa is a town on the banks of the Zlatarishka river in northern Bulgaria. It is between Velikotarnovo and the mountain town of Elena. The area has been inhabited since antiquity, but the town begins to appear in historic records in the 3rd and 2nd century BC. In the Middle Ages, under the Second Bulgarian Empire, the town was rich enough and big enough to have its own church. However, the church was destroyed during a Khazari attack. The Khazari were organized bandits. Many were ex-soldiers from the Ottoman army. They used their military knowledge to lay siege, rob and plunder towns and villages in the Balkans. Zlataritsa was raided, I would suggest, in early 1600s, because in 1622 the town was granted the Derbenji status. This status came with many privileges, critically the right to bear arms and defend the town from attacks. The people of Zlataritsa, as it was in the Second Bulgarian Empire, are again tasked with guarding the pass and prevent attacks on Velikotarnovo and the region beyond. But why did the Khazari target Zlataritsa? In my video Nabanasi, I tell you that the Khazari attacked the town to rob the wealthy merchants, but Zlataritsa in recent times is mainly known as an agricultural area. The clue is in the name. Many historians think that the name Zlataritsa derives from Zlato. Zlato means gold, and there is historic evidence that the river sand contained gold, and there were many goldsmiths in the town. Zlataritsa's geographical position is again center stage during the Russo-Turkish War of 1877-1878, or the Bulgarian War of Independence, and I told you about it in my video at the Shipka. Suleiman Pasha's forces are checked at the Shipka Pass. The other route for the Ottoman forces to join the regiments at the Battle for Pleven is through Elena. Fighting around Elena is raging. If Elena falls, the Ottoman army must be stopped at Zlataritsa. Russian forces march through snow and ice to Zlataritsa. Among them is the Naves Hussar Regiment, commanded by Colonel Alexander Alexandrovich Pushkin. This school becomes the headquarters of Alexander Alexandrovich. The regiment participated in the battles for Elena and Kotel. Alexander Alexandrovich is remembered as a true gentleman and a kind and witty man. Both him and his regiment were awarded medals for bravery. If the surnames sound familiar, Alexander Alexandrovich was the son of the great Russian poet Alexander Pushkin. The central square is dominated by the sculpture of the Mother of Bulgaria. Behind her there is a memorial to the people of the town that were lost in the First and Second World Wars. The photovoltaic park in Zlataritsa was opened in 2012. During the communist era that followed the Second World War, the main economic activity was agriculture, but in 1971 the Pro-Combinat Zlataritsa factory was set up to produce steel castings for household goods. In 1984 the factory was renamed the Steel Foundry 23rd September, in memory of the September Uprising of 1923. The uprising was organized by the Bulgarian Communist Party. It aimed to establish a workers' and farm workers' government. This uprising failed. The factory was closed down, according to my research, in 1997. But please comment below if you have better data. The factory's products were moved on the railway. The railway line connected Gorna-Oryahovitsa, a major rail transport hub, to Elena. Trains stopped taking passengers on this line in 2002. The line was meant to connect Gorna-Oryahovitsa to Stoyan in southern Bulgaria. Building began in 1924. The line reached Zlataritsa in 1949 and finally Elena in 1974. The gaps are the result of two world wars and the political upheavals that followed. And the geography. It is a mountainous region and the line has 16 bridges crossing rivers. In its heyday, diesel engines pulled trains up and down the line to Elena. Beside workers and tourists, the line was used to transport timber from lumber mills and glass from the factories in Elena, and the metal components made in the factory in Zlataritsa, as well as local produce such as fruit and vegetables, meat and dairy products. A combination of the factories closing down and depopulation led to the decision to close the line in the early 2000s. Like many other small towns in Bulgaria, Zlataritsa has suffered from depopulation. Many people have moved to bigger towns and abroad, but the connections with the hometown have not been fully severed. Father Petrov remembers that money was sent from abroad to help with the renovation of the church. This is the church of St. Nicholas. It was built between 1860 and 1884, with donations from the people of the town. The project was started by Oryahovitsa and it shows some similarity with his church in Tryavna, link at the end to my video in Tryavna. But it was completed by his student Usta Georgi from Novo Selo. Usta Georgi's aesthetic tastes, in my opinion, are very noticeable in the shape and height of the windows. The layout is inspired by the traditional three-nave basilica, but the windows have a hint of Gothic. After the Khazars' raid on the town, a chapel was built and this stone marks the spot. That chapel was demolished at the time the new church was built. The iconostasis is by artists from the Tryavna School, and the icons mostly date from 1882 to 1887. Bulgarian specific aesthetics set the Tryavna School apart from other traditions in the Orthodox iconography. The colors are not always used in accordance to the old rules. The faces are rounder and softer than in the Greek tradition, for example, and the eyes are a soft almond shape. This icon dates from the 15th or early 16th century. It depicts Archangel Michael, and it is an example of the early Tryavna school. The Archangel Michael with a sword depicts Michael as the defender of the faith. In the other hand, he holds a medallion. It depicts the crucifixion. It symbolizes the Christ's human journey through trials and tribulation to the ultimate triumph. Both his ears are visible. This tells us that he is always listening to God's commands. But, contrary to tradition, the two white ribbons close to the ears, or toroki, are missing. The choice of red for the cloak roots back to pre-Christian times, when red was the imperial color. There is blue in the vest. I would say this is lapis lazuli blue. Blue means the heavens, and blue is traditionally used only in the garments of divine beings, and humans very close to God, such as the Holy Mary. This is a walking icon, in my opinion. What I mean by walking icon is that the priest will hold it in front of the congregation and take it on processions. Walking icons must be big enough for people to be able to see the subject, and traditionally there is only one main subject in these icons. But these icons must not be too big. The priest, after all, must be able to both carry them and lift them up. The church was declared a cultural monument in 1981, which is good on one side, because any work on the church must meet conservation standards. On the other side, the extra paperwork often results in delays. And delays, when a roof needs some urgent attention, are causing a little bit of frustration in the congregation. Gonna go and take a round trip to get the size of. And there is one more thing. This thing. Now your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a MiG-17. And if you know why it is here, please comment below. I'd love to know. The MiG-17, NATO's codename Fresco, was a Soviet single-seater jet fighter. Compared to the MiG-15, the MiG-17 is about 50 km per hour faster. It has better maneuverability at high altitude, but the performance at takeoff and landing is not as good. This one belonged to the Bulgarian Air Force. Between 1960 and 1970, the Soviet Union delivered about 110 of these to Bulgaria. In the past, some decommissioned military equipment was used in patriotic monuments, but there is no information of such a project in Zlataritsa. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, that helps me a lot. I publish in English on Tuesdays, Italian on Wednesdays, and Bulgarian on Thursdays. Thank you for watching, stay curious, have a lovely day, bye bye! But we have a bit of sunshine and it's not cold, I think that's really nice.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit, but I can't find it.